Welcome to another episode of Not for the Weak Minded. This is just a quick video to go through this news article that was out yesterday and just to show you basically that everything you read should be taken as the opposite of exactly what they want to do. So I'm going to go for it. Coronavirus 5G certainly delayed in Europe and UK. Now, I am going to bring up other articles later on and I can show you, obviously, Trump's rolled out 5G in America. Our government sold out to China. They work for the same people. They're all corrupted. Brexit was about Britain becoming self-sufficient. We are, as an economy and as a civilization and a society, are going in the complete opposite direction towards self-sufficiency. We are all becoming more dependent upon corrupt institutions and organizations that have not got humanity's self-interest of preservation. So the coronavirus 5G certainly delayed in Europe and UK. Bullshit. I can show you films recorded by people across Europe, across Britain, across America of 5G being installed while we're in lockdown. So it's a lie. The rollout of 5G mobile networks in Europe will certainly be delayed. That's a lie. It's going on right now. So that is the complete opposite of what's happening right in front right now. Chinese company is one of the major manufacturers of essential equipment for 5G networks. Huawei said continuing the 5G rollout was the best way to ensure connectivity during the crisis. So literally, the first sentence they said, rollout's certainly going to be delayed, and then down here they're going, but it makes sense while this crisis is going on that we carry on rolling out 5G. Huh? But senior executive Eric Zhu also told reporters the delays could last until the time when the pandemic is brought under control. There we go. So this 5G installation is being rolled out, and it's going to end when this pandemic is brought under control. Answering questions about its annual report published on Tuesday, Huawei Vice President Victor Zhang said there would definitely be an impact, but it would not be as significant in the UK as the rest of Europe. No, a lot of places in Europe are waking up to the fact, and they are destroying them. Legally, some places have been gone to court and they've won. Yeah, but the governments don't care. They don't give a fuck about the data. They don't care about you. They don't care about your health. All they care about is their agendas for a new world order. The first and Europe is being attacked right now. I can show you a map that I shared with my people on Facebook, and literally the 5G everywhere where the virus is 5G. So anyway, the first priority was to ensure the existing network was reliable as people were using it to work, entertain and learn from home, he said. Right. 4G is damaging to our health as well. You can look this up. It was banned in schools. Legally, it was not allowed in schools. But they lifted that ban because these people don't care about you, right? Your children. Us. But given the demand for bandwidth and better coverage, the quickest way is to use the 5G development. No, bandwidth, yes, because it's millimeter frequencies, which is why they have to install millions of them across the earth for this network to work. People are waking up, we're taking them down, and they'll just keep putting them up. What we need is people that work for these companies to fucking put their tools down and go, I am not doing this for love or no money. Because that's what is required. And I can show you things that happened in the 1900s, right? Where the people had a choice. And they chose to not go to work. They chose to not get their money. They chose to literally go against the government. And these are the things they're never going to tell you. These are the things that the people did to get their rights. They literally didn't go to work. I can't remember why. I have to I said, I read so much stuff, and I'm constantly looking at everything possible, what's going on. So we need to accelerate the network bandwidth to make sure everyone can work and entertain and can share information, he said. It's not about that, you know? To be honest, right? Humanity needs to be one in order to defeat their common enemy. And now we have been divided so much, right? In mind, body, and spirit, and race, and religion, right? That these people in charge have destroyed the fabric of how we communicate with each other, you know? The fabric of our society. And that's not me saying it. That's people like CEOs from Facebook saying it, for example. They've destroyed the way we communicate with each other because of political correctness. We have to walk on eggshells just to speak to each other and to appease each other's feelings. It's a joke. Mr. Zhang pointed to rural areas in particular where existing mobile broadband coverage is not good enough to support people working from home. Now this, right, the government, Boris Johnson, all their plans was to roll this out into rural areas first. Do you know why? Because they want those people not to be self-sufficient. They don't want this country to feed itself. They don't want you to be self-sufficient. Those people are self-sufficient. They don't give a fuck about the internet. You know? Farmers and people like that. Their livelihood is their work. They don't care. You know? So this coverage, they're using the rural areas as an excuse to basically push all those people in the rural areas into the cities. You got nowhere to go if this happens. You got nowhere to run. Nowhere. No one is safe. This is why we all need to collectively come together with truth. So, on the other hand, we must consider the health and safety issue, especially for protecting our employees and our partners, he said. They don't care about their employees. You know, they're slaves. You're all economic slaves. Anyone that works for these companies, you're a slave. You're an economic slave born into a corrupt world of evil, lies, and sin. And your birth certificate is a bond. You know what I'm saying? You're born into bondage. You're not free. You've never been born free. You've never been equal to those in charge. And yet the Equality Act is taking away our rights right now as we speak. The United Nations is our common enemy, along with all these secret societies to do with Freemasonry. Before crisis, Hawaii's role in Europe's 5G network was deeply controversial. The UK had decided to allow the Chinese company a limited role, and France and Germany appeared poised to go down a similar route, but pressure was mounting for the US and some UK politicians for a ban. It should be banned, but it won't make no difference because there's more than one company doing this technology. It's just because it's cheaper in China, and every single person, all manufacturing mainly of our products comes from China. You know, we need to. It's crazy. You know, they've literally destroyed our economy in favor of the rising dragon of the East. For what? You know? For our enslavement, for them to take away every single thing that we have, which is our free will, our soul, our rights. It's got to come to an end. It's going to come to a massive crunch. And every single person that's awake needs to keep waking people up, and we need to get to the streets. We need to be on the streets. We need to be bashing the doors of Parliament down. Burn it down. That'll send a message to them. So that now Hawaii, while conceding there will be some delays in 5G development, has insisted there will be a minimal, and seems to think nothing has really changed. No, nothing's changed. That may be naive on the company's part, while nothing has really changed when it comes to the technical and security issues around Hawaii's equipment. The political climate for the company has certainly worsened. They don't care. The government works for them. Literally, in Green Park, down the road from me, there is a bloody Hawaii headquarters. Right? There's no masts in that park, by the way. That's a green zone. There's green zones across the country which are safe zones for the elites. Every single company in that park is Masonic. A story in the Mail on Sunday at the weekend had Downing Street warning China faced a reckoning over its handling of the coronavirus. Right. You know, we know Wuhan was a test site for 5G. We know the government went in there and they cleaned up all the bodies, and this is how what they do. They've been doing biological warfare on the public since probably the 60s. Even probably before that, just after the war, 45. You know, no wonder we're all sick, because people don't even see that the people in charge are poisoning us every day, our mind, our body, our spirit. And handling the coronavirus, and that is likely to embolden those MPs who have been telling the government no Chinese company should be allowed a role in the UK's vital infrastructure. They don't care. They've sold out. They've sold out. They've sold the NHS. They've privatised the companies. It's only a matter of time before we all suffer in this country, and we need to be self-sufficient. You know, Brexit was about being self-sufficient, and yet it's the complete opposite direction where we're going. Hawaii's maintenance staff were designated as essential workers in the UK, Mr. Zhang said, which meant they could continue to do repairs, but also contribute to the rollout of the new 5G base stations. What's going on in the UK, folks? Rollout of the new 5G base stations, because the schools are closed. They're going into football stadiums. If you want freedom, right, from this agenda, you're going to have to take the vaccine. You're going to have to take the microchip in your hand. You're going to have to be part of a even more crooked and evil system of lies and deceit, right, that you don't really want to be a part of, because you will lose your soul. You will lose your free will, literally, through technologies, and eventually transfer of your soul through technologies. And the company had put many extra spare parts in free UK warehouses when the virus had broken out in China to make sure its supply chain suffered as little impact as possible. So these warehouses, right, are full of 5G tech that China's brought over, and the government going, we don't want it. And yet, our government is letting the private companies that they work for install 5G in schools. It's disgusting. I'm so tired of these people. So, yeah, little as impact as possible. Mr. Zhu said China had accelerated its own 5G development after the numbers of cases in COVID-19 subsided. But in other countries, it would depend on several factors, including whether telecoms company had the budget and resources to win back the time lost. They're trying, literally, to take away our rights through this agenda, and it's getting worse every day. In January, despite opposition from the United States, which claims the company is a security risk, UK officials decided to allow Hawaii to supply a little more than a third of the UK's infrastructure, including sensitive core parts of networks. European powers shortly followed suit in a recommendation to member states. And since then, Hawaii says, has since then seen a very good pace of 5G network development in Europe and particularly the UK. Why? They're rolling it out, people! Oh. And as for the stuff that... This goes way deeper than I was on pyramids. This goes way deeper. You know, this involves the gods. This involves extraterrestrials. This involves a new economic system where you will socially be scored upon how you perceive this reality. Literally, if you're awake, your score will be 0, 666 because of those people. Anyway, I've had last few days, 4 days, I've had serious depression, and it's been difficult because my laptop broke and I couldn't get the videos working, but I'm back now, and I will be doing more soon. Please share, like, and subscribe.